Hello, friends. This is Helen from Jerusalem. And like every week, we welcome you with all our heart to the Vigil on behalf of the Middle East. We are so grateful that we keep, and so many of us keep, this weekly flow of the will to love and the will to peace. It's a precious group field that we have. And we find it a safe space to bring in the complexity of a world situation. Efrat isn't here with us today, so I will bring something I have been observing lately in my Israeli surrounding. As you know, the world tension is growing, and the more it's growing, and the more the escalation of the war in the Middle East is raving. And the more the situation escalates and is delusional, the more we see opposite effects in the consciousness of people. And I'm talking of people here in Israel. On the one hand, we witness a mass awakening of people whose lifestyle till this war didn't bother them too much. Today, many questions come up in the field about the meaning of this prolonged war, about the perpetuation of human suffering, about the Israeli hostages. This subject is an open wound for many Israelis. About where all this leads us to, the future of the country. Where are we going? I feel this awakening growing also as a result of not only people awakening consciously because of the meanings of this conflict, but as a result of being tired of this atmosphere of fear and pain, and tired of the disruption of their lives. So here I can see the awakening happening. On the other hand, lots of people remain blinded by the glamour of victimhood, of righteousness, of extreme hatred and vengeance. Those people call for ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians in the northern Gaza. They call for expansion. Those are really the extremists, and also a big part, maybe 50% of the Israeli society, which stays in this glamour of victimhood. Today, I will not bring so much about Palestinians and Arabs. Still, most Israeli Arabs that I encounter express the desire of living a normal life in a country in which we can all coexist and raise our next generations as mensches. I I would like to um, share a little experience, which is funny, but it was also quite significant for me. The other day, I took a cab, and the driver was an Arab driver, and we were stuck in how do you say in a traffic jam, and then we heard sirens, and probably there was an accident somewhere. So he told me we were talking about life here, and he told me, "You see what happens? We're stuck here, and and anytime we can we can be we can just die. Like we don't have to die in the war. We can die in a car accident. So you and I together in this cab can die. And so what? You will go up to heaven with an Israeli flag, and I will go up to heaven with a Palestinian flag." He said, "Come on, you know, let's just enjoy what God gives us now." And he said, "You're an old lady and I'm a young guy, and I think that both of us don't understand why all this is happening." So just a sharing of a human situation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Helen, for this human situation. What else can be said? It says it all. We are all humans, wrapped in our different flags. Yeah, I think this note of compassion, of understanding, remembering each time that we are all players in a collective karma. So forgiveness and going beyond what is just at this moment happening, it's an ongoing exercise. Yeah, there's also maybe one thing I would like to, one impression that I have with all this Middle East dynamics is there seems to be a careful management of the steps of this war. It's more like a chess game, and it gives the opportunity to all players and also to us playing our part, uh, which perhaps we can say is to be a stabilizing presence in this, holding up the human values, the wider context, and hopefully offering some grace, some healing through our understanding, through our effort not to judge. Yeah, so let's start our energetic work. Let us settle into our body, feeling this body, being fully present in this body. Fully present on this earth. feeling our heart beat and pulse with our human feelings, our human love. And collect our awareness into the center of the head now. Standing as an incarnated soul in our personal life. Linking in with each other now, heart to heart, on this call, and with our other colleagues, soul guided servers around the planet. Let our combined love give substance to our group heart. Let the light of our minds weave into this telepathic field, this clear space in which the higher work can be done. Standing together as souls in the will to peace. And we connect with our higher co-workers who guide this work. And tune with their vibration. Let our group heart fill with their all-inclusive love, with the energy of grace. And let our group mind fill with the higher light, the light of discernment. And stepping now into our service on behalf of the Middle East, midway point between the higher forces and the condition on the ground. And in focused silence, let us now turn our eyes to this condition on the ground, starting with an overall sense of this mainly Arab Muslim world. This very large field of consciousness, getting a sense of it for a moment in the wider planetary context. And now within it, let us focus in on the Palestinians in Gaza, in the West Bank, within the borders of Israel, in Lebanon, and in other Muslim countries in the Middle East, getting a sense of this Palestinian field of consciousness, struggling to find a unified sense of self, struggling to find its place. See if we can sense it as a living entity with all these diverse segments of it, subpersonalities. Trying to integrate. Now let us focus on the field of consciousness of the Jewish population within the Middle East. As a collective entity, in its struggle, its problem to build right relations with its neighbors and find its place in the Middle East. And observing the interaction between these three fields of consciousness. And remembering that the more we are able to release judging, the more we will understand. Taking just another moment to observe and discern whatever we can discern. And collecting our focus back to the midway point. And within the aura of our higher co-workers, let us open our awareness now upwards towards the divine plan, towards the intended design for the Middle East. Taking 2 minutes or so, using our finest intuitive sense, the intended design, the potential for the Middle East. Continuing now to hold our impressions and perhaps the vibration of this intended design in our group awareness, and at the same time bringing also the condition on the ground into it, bringing the two into relation in our group awareness. The potential and the actual. And see energies flowing between them like two magnets. See and sense a shaft of pure golden white light, broad and brilliant, flood West Asia. See a huge column of light pouring through all planes. And let us hold this column steady in the will to peace. See this light pouring into the mental sphere of the Middle East, visualizing the mental forces slowly aligning to a higher vision. To the fact that only together the peace can be built. And at the same time, see the light pouring into the emotional sphere of the Middle East, touching the hearts, gently opening the way to a felt sense of family, of a recognition of being one in origin and of having to work this out together. And at the same time, see the light also pouring into the etheric physical plane, penetrating into the earth, pulsing, giving strength to this ongoing disintegration, this process of transmuting these old separative patterns. Let us hold space for another moment for this transmuting process underway on all these levels and in all these collective entities, in this whole Middle East. Sensing this shift of consciousness wanting to take place. And as we hold this, let us recognize and acknowledge that the energy of conflict must play itself out, that destruction is part of it. And let us invoke the higher forces to help direct this transmuting and releasing process to constructive ends eventually. Let us reach out to the Lords of Liberation. Visualize them issuing forth, destroying the old hindering separative forms. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. Let us visualize the conflict playing itself out towards eventual harmony. And this solar plexus intensity slowly lifting, redirecting towards the heart. And holding this intention, let us sound it forth through the great invocation in Hebrew and in Arabic. מנקודת האור אשר בדעת אל, יזרום האור אל דעת האדם, ירד האור על פני האדמה. מנקודת האהבה אשר בלב האל, תזרום האהבה אל לבבות אנוש, ישוב מורה עולם על פני האדמה. מהמרכז שבו נודע רצון האל, תנחה תכלית את רצונות אדם. תכלית אותה מורי האנושות יודעים ומשרתים. מהמרכז אשר נקרא המין האנושי, תוגשם תוכנית האהבה והאור, ויחתם הפתח אל הרע. יהי רצון ויחדשו, אור, אהבה, עוצמה, את התוכנית על פני האדמה. אמן.
من نقطة النور في العقل الإلهي ليشع النور في عقول الناس وليهبط النور إلى الأرض. من نقطة الحب في القلب الإلهي ليتسرب الحب في القلوب الناس وليرجع معلم الكون إلى الأرض. من المركز الذي تعرف منها إرادة الله لتقود للغاية إرادة الناس البسيطة. تلك الغاية التي يدركها المعلمون ويخدمونها. من المركز الذي ندون بالجنس البشري لينتج تسمين الحب والنور، ويختم على الباب الذي يقيم به الشر، ليجدد النور والحب والقوة، التسمين على الأرض. الله أمين.